Breakups are painful, confusing, and often leave people wondering what the right move is. One of the most common strategies people use after a breakup is the no contact rule. No contact means giving both yourself and your former partner space by stopping communication completely for a period of time. This includes avoiding texts, calls, social media interactions, and even indirect contact through friends. Many people start this process hoping it will help them heal, regain emotional balance, and possibly even rebuild attraction in the future. But the real challenge comes later. After weeks or months of silence, the question begins to creep in. When is it actually okay to break no contact? Many people break it too early because of loneliness, curiosity, or emotional pressure. Unfortunately, doing so often weakens your position and can make the situation worse. That is why understanding when to break no contact is extremely important. It should never come from desperation or emotional impulse. The truth is simple. If you are the one who was left, the power of no contact comes from patience and self-control. Breaking that silence too quickly can erase the respect and emotional distance that no contact creates. When someone leaves a relationship, they usually need time to process their decision. If you constantly reach out, you interrupt that process and remove the opportunity for them to feel your absence. Many people misunderstand the purpose of no contact. They think it is a trick to make someone miss them within a few days, but psychologically, human emotions do not work that quickly. People need space to experience what life feels like without you. When you disappear from their daily routine, your absence becomes noticeable. It creates emotional space for reflection, curiosity, and sometimes regret. Another important reason for no contact is personal growth. Breakups can shake your confidence and emotional stability. Instead of focusing all your attention on the other person, no contact allows you to turn that focus inward. This is the time to rebuild your routine, reconnect with friends, improve your mindset, and work on the parts of yourself that may have been neglected during the relationship. When people see someone who is healing, improving, and moving forward with their life, it creates a different kind of attraction. Confidence, independence, and emotional stability are powerful qualities. Ironically, the more you focus on rebuilding yourself instead of chasing your ex, the more interesting you may appear to them again. However, even during no contact, many people remain emotionally attached to their phone. They check their messages constantly, hoping their ex will reach out. Every notification creates excitement or disappointment. This emotional roller coaster can make the healing process harder. The real power of no contact appears when you stop waiting and start living your life again. But there is an important psychological rule that many people ignore. If you break no contact before your former partner shows clear signs of genuine interest, the dynamic can become unbalanced. When someone sees that you are still emotionally available and waiting, it can remove the sense of mystery and independence that makes reconciliation possible. This is why patience is essential. Silence can reveal things that words never could. When two people stop communicating, their true intentions become clearer. If someone genuinely values the relationship, they will eventually feel the emotional gap created by your absence. If they do not reach out, that silence itself provides an answer about their priorities. There is also a deeper psychological effect behind no contact. Human beings naturally become curious about things they cannot easily access. When someone who used to be constantly available suddenly disappears from their life, it can create questions in their mind. What are they doing now? Have they moved on? Are they happier without me? Curiosity can sometimes turn into renewed interest. However, not every breakup leads to reconciliation, and that is important to understand. No contact is not only about getting someone back, it is about protecting your emotional health and rebuilding your sense of self. Even if the relationship never returns, you still come out of the process stronger, wiser, and more emotionally balanced. Many people struggle with the urge to break no contact because they miss the comfort of familiar communication. They remember the good memories and forget the reasons the relationship ended. This selective memory can create a powerful emotional pull, but acting on that feeling without careful thought can reopen old wounds. The key is to remember that no contact is not about punishing the other person. It is about giving both individuals the space needed to see the relationship clearly. Distance often reveals truths that are difficult to recognize when emotions are intense and communication is constant. Eventually, there may come a moment when breaking no contact becomes appropriate, but this moment should not be random or driven by loneliness. It should only happen when your former partner shows a clear signal that they are open to reconnecting. Without that signal, breaking no contact often leads to disappointment or emotional setbacks. One of the clearest signals is when your ex reaches out first with genuine curiosity or warmth. This does not mean a simple reaction to a social media post or a casual greeting. A meaningful message usually contains emotional openness, personal questions, or an attempt to restart a conversation. When someone truly wants to reconnect, their effort becomes noticeable. Sometimes the first message may seem small, but the tone behind it reveals intention. If your ex asks about your life, your well-being, or starts reminiscing about shared memories, it can be a sign that they are thinking about the relationship again. At that point, responding calmly and respectfully can open the door to a healthy conversation. However, it is important not to rush things even after they reach out. Breaking no contact does not mean immediately returning to the old relationship dynamic. Instead, it means slowly rebuilding communication while maintaining emotional balance. The goal is not to relive the past, but to see whether a healthier connection can exist in the present. Another sign that it may be safe to break no contact is when your ex begins making consistent efforts to reconnect. One message might be curiosity, but repeated communication shows intention. If they continue reaching out, asking questions, or suggesting conversations, it often means they are reconsidering the breakup. Consistency is important because genuine interest rarely appears only once. When someone truly wants to reconnect, their actions show it over time. They invest energy into the conversation and make space for communication in their daily life. At this stage, it is helpful to stay calm and emotionally steady. Avoid jumping immediately into deep emotional discussions about the breakup. Instead, allow the conversation to develop naturally. Sometimes the best way to rebuild a connection is by creating new positive interactions rather than revisiting old conflicts right away. Many people make the mistake of expressing all their feelings immediately after contact resumes. While honesty is valuable, overwhelming someone with emotions too quickly can create pressure. A balanced approach allows both people to rediscover each other gradually. Another important signal that may justify breaking no contact is when your ex shows signs of personal reflection. Sometimes they may apologize for their role in the breakup or acknowledge mistakes they made. This kind of accountability is a strong indicator that they have been thinking seriously about the relationship. Growth and self-reflection are essential for any relationship to work again. Without these elements, reconnecting often leads to repeating the same problems that caused the breakup in the first place. When someone demonstrates genuine maturity and awareness, it creates the possibility for a healthier future. Still, it is important to remember that breaking no contact should never mean abandoning your personal growth. The progress you made during the silent period should continue. Your life, goals, and emotional stability must remain your priority. Sometimes, the most powerful change that occurs during no contact is the realization that you no longer feel the same urgency to return to the relationship. The distance allows you to see things clearly. You may recognize patterns that were unhealthy or notice how much calmer your life feels without constant conflict. This clarity can transform the entire situation. Instead of feeling desperate for reconciliation, you begin to evaluate whether reconnecting is actually the right decision for your future. Emotional independence gives you the ability to make choices based on wisdom rather than fear of being alone. If your ex reaches out and you decide to respond, keep the tone positive, respectful, and relaxed. Avoid sarcasm, bitterness, or emotional intensity. Remember that the purpose of the conversation is not to prove a point, but to see whether meaningful communication can exist again. One of the strongest signs of genuine interest is when your ex begins investing time and attention into the interaction. They ask thoughtful questions, respond with enthusiasm, and maintain the conversation instead of giving short replies. Communication becomes balanced rather than one-sided. When conversations become consistent and comfortable, it may lead to deeper discussions about what happened in the past. These conversations should be approached with honesty but also emotional maturity. The goal is understanding, not blame. Healthy communication after a breakup requires patience. Both individuals may still carry emotional memories or insecurities from the previous relationship. Moving too quickly can trigger old patterns. Moving slowly allows trust to rebuild naturally. Another powerful indicator that breaking no contact may be appropriate is when your ex expresses a desire to meet in person. Suggesting a conversation face-to-face usually means they are serious about reconnecting. In-person interactions allow both people to read emotional cues and communicate more deeply than through text messages. If a meeting happens, approach it with a calm mindset. This is not an interview or a confrontation. It is simply an opportunity to see whether the connection between you still exists and whether both people have grown enough to create something healthier. Sometimes people discover during this process that the relationship cannot be rebuilt, and that realization, while painful, can also be freeing. It allows both individuals to move forward without unresolved questions or lingering emotional attachment. Other times, the distance created by no contact leads to a renewed appreciation for the relationship. Both partners may realize that they took certain things for granted before. When two people return with greater awareness and maturity, the relationship can become stronger than it was before. But it is essential to remember that reconciliation should never come from fear or loneliness. It should come from mutual respect, emotional growth, and a genuine desire to build something better. No contact teaches one of the most valuable lessons in relationships: self-respect. When you refuse to chase someone who has chosen to walk away, you demonstrate emotional strength. You show that your value does not depend on someone else's attention. This mindset changes the entire dynamic. Instead of trying to convince someone to stay, you become someone who attracts healthy connections naturally. Confidence, independence, and self-awareness are qualities that draw people toward you. Even if the relationship never returns, the personal growth gained through this process becomes a powerful foundation for future relationships. You learn how to set boundaries, communicate clearly, and protect your emotional well-being. Relationships that succeed after a breakup usually do so because both individuals have changed in meaningful ways. They return with a deeper understanding of themselves and each other. Without that transformation, the same patterns tend to repeat. Ultimately, the decision to break no contact should come from clarity, not emotion. When your former partner shows genuine effort, consistent communication, and emotional maturity, it may be worth opening the door to conversation. But if those signs never appear, silence itself becomes a message. It tells you that your energy is better invested in your own growth and in relationships that value your presence. Healing from a breakup is never easy, but it can become a powerful turning point in your life. The pain that once felt overwhelming can transform into wisdom, strength, and a deeper understanding of what you truly deserve. If this message helped you see relationships and breakups in a new way, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Here you will discover more insights about psychology, emotional strength, and personal growth that can help you build healthier connections and a stronger mindset. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. Every video is designed to give you practical wisdom that can improve your relationships, your confidence, and the way you approach life. Your journey toward emotional strength and clarity starts with knowledge, and this channel is here to guide you every step of the way.